So today I felt called or prompted to come online today to talk about a really important subject that I think so many of us can relate to. And the subject that I am going to talk about today is the season in your life and what is it about this particular season that you're in? What is this season requiring you to trust? Okay? Because I think that as we go through different seasons in our life or in our lives, it requires us to trust, right? And for me, what this season is requiring for me to trust is uncertainty. This season is requiring me to trust the unfamiliar. This season is requiring me to trust the unknown. This season is also requiring me to trust myself, to trust God. So what is it that this season is forcing you to trust? Or what is it about this season that is asking you to trust? What is this season asking you to trust, right? And for me, when I just hear the word uncertainty, in some sense, it brings anxiety because I don't like uncertainty. I like knowing what the plan is because then you can, to some degree, control the outcome, or you can at least prepare for what's to come. Like so many of you, I have been on what I would call a journey. It's an ever-evolving journey, and it's one that requires, or should I say, each season requires a different version of you. And hopefully as you move through these different seasons, as you go along on your path, as you move along on your journey, hopefully at each stage of it, you are evolving and you're coming to a different place of self-awareness, right? Where you can, I guess, arrive at a place where you weren't originally. So for me, this season is about as I mentioned earlier, trusting uncertainty, trusting what isn't familiar to me, trusting being uncomfortable, trusting myself, trusting God, right? Before, I wasn't so trusting in those areas, especially when it came to uncertainty, right? Before, I was not comfortable with sort of letting things unfold as they may, under divine's timing, right? But this season is really requiring a different version of me. This season is requiring a version of me, for lack of a better word, that a version of me that requires surrender, right? Trusting and knowing that everything is happening as it's supposed to happen, right? Trusting and knowing that we are exactly where we are supposed to be. And let's face it, it's going to require a version of you to just trust. It's going to require a version of you that is okay with you just letting go and letting things just kind of unfold the way they're supposed to, right? So what season are you in? And is the current season that you're in, is it allowing you to evolve to the next level? Is it keeping you stuck in your past, right? Is it creating feelings of anxiety and procrastination? What season are you in? And are those very things that you're being called to trust in this season, are you getting in the way of that? Is thinking from your past, or past experiences, affecting your future and your reality? Because for me and for so long, it did. Like I wasn't trusting of uncertainty. I wasn't trusting of stepping into the unknown. I wasn't trusting of getting uncomfortable. But now that I have surrendered, now that I have developed this trust, right? This knowing that it's time to elevate. And when it's time to elevate, that elevation is going to require a different version of you. That elevation is going to require you to think different, to act different, to be different, right? To believe different. So what is this season that you're in right now asking you to trust? I dare you to give yourself the courage to see bigger. In fact, now that we're talking about bigger, it reminds me of expansion, because that's what it's about. It's about expanding, right? And so for me, my theme word this week was expanding. How can I expand in my life, both mentally as well as materialistically, in all ways? How can I expand? How can I expand my experience of life? How can I expand the way I love myself? How can I expand in the way I receive love? Right? It's all about expansion. And when you're in these seasons, right, that are asking you to trust those very things that don't seem normal to you, that don't feel safe, right? I can assure you that it's going to be in those moments where you don't feel comfortable, where you are surrounded by things that are unfamiliar, where you don't trust yourself all the way, where you're questioning God and what does this all mean? But if you allow yourself to surrender in those moments, I guarantee you that you will expand. You have no choice other than to expand. We have to change the way we think. We have to change the way we see ourselves. We have to not allow those narrations from the past, those stories from the past. We have to not allow it to affect who and what we are and how we show up today. What is this season of your life asking you to trust? That is the key word, the key question. So today I challenge you to assess where you currently are in your mental and have an honest conversation with yourself about what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you're hearing, what it is that you believe the universe is attempting to tell you. What is it in this season that you're being asked to trust? What is it? I challenge you to go so far beyond your fears, so far beyond what's familiar to you. See beyond all of that, right? Because I too have had my moments where I felt like, there was a ceiling above me. There was a ceiling. I wasn't able to see past that ceiling. I wasn't able to feel past that ceiling. There was just this ceiling over top of me. And finally, I had to get out of my own way. In fact, every day we have to get out of our own way. Because those old habits, those old beliefs, those things that live within us that tell us we're not good enough, that tell us we're not pretty enough, that tells us we're not experienced enough, right? They're still there. Every day you got to remind yourself, I'm bigger than this. That's no longer me, right? And use it as motivation as you climb your way up, right? Because we're going up. Upward and onward is the motion of life. Never backwards and downward. It's always upward and onward, right? So take that time today to assess, what season are you in? And what is this season asking you to trust? There's opportunity to live your best life while operating as the best version of yourself, okay? So again, it's all about purposefully Purposefully transformed, baby. We are all transformed with a purpose, okay? Thank you so much for tuning in. Wishing you peace, love, and light. And until next time, take care.